Welcome back to the Auto Hub, and today we are going to be driving this. That is the Audi R8 driven by Asa Gladstein of Squad Driven. If you haven't heard of them, check them out on their YouTube channel, Squad Driven. Looking forward to an amazing video. Right, driving the Audi R8. It's a 2012 V10 R-tronic transmission, and let's start it up. Wow.
I recommend using either the paddles to shift or this to shift. You can let it drive automatic, but it drives better if you drive it yourself.
Gotcha. All right, so driving the R8. First, the steering wheel. I love it. Let's get the nice flat solid bottom. Oh, it says new U-turn. Darn.
I can't read it. You can't read, but that's up to you.
I don't know anything about reading. It has paddle shifters. I know that this for a fact is a stop on red.
Right on red after stop.
Yes, sir. First impression, it's fast. Faster than you would think. It's kind of deceptively fast. And the gear changes are instant. There's no rev hang. It just gets going nice and quickly. I like the fact that it's so well balanced. There's no kind of, like, you almost feel like you're in the middle of the car in a way. Okay. But this has some soul to it.
Well, that's why I like this transmission. If you want to get over to the right and then get on the highway. That's why a lot of people don't like this transmission, because it's not as smooth as a dual clutch.
Right.
But I like it because it gives it more soul. It gives it more of a feel, you know, more aggressive.
I'm going to be a little gentle on it, folks.
You're good.
I don't want to.
Go for it.
The owner of the car is telling me to go for it. Well, I'm not quite sure that the police would be a little unhappy if I was driving with a camera on my head. So. And how many gears is this?
6 speed.
Okay. So we're in 6th right now at 90, and it feels like I'm crawling. Holy.
This thing, like, the cool part about it is, like, the faster you go, the more comfortable it feels, the more planted it feels.
It just, well, as I was saying back there, I think that the car itself feels like, I almost feel like I'm sitting in the center of the car, like the McLaren. It's super, like, tactile, driver friendly. There's nothing off about it. It's very German feeling. You know, if you're coming from a Porsche, you'll be really comfortable in this car. If you're coming from anything else, you might not be. So coming from a Porsche, I get it. Wow. I'm kind of at a loss for words, to be quite honest with you. It's subtle. And when you look at it from the outside, it's not so subtle. And, you know, because of the graphics that you have on the car and just the design of the car itself. But I'm sure that there's got to be a little bit of familiarity when people see you driving on the road. I saw somebody had posted just a random video of you in your car the other day on the internet. You know, just on YouTube, like, cool car in Boston, and it showed your car.
Yeah, with the stickers, it kind of happens a lot. It's part of the game. I don't mind it, but, like, I don't like, personally, like, if I'm just driving, I kind of want my own privacy, so the windows are super dark, so you can't really see in here.
Smart.
Yeah, but I mean, I like it. It's good, you know. It's a good business car. It does get a lot of exposure. And to your point, like, if I were to take all the stickers off, it does look on the subtle side.
Yeah.
But you can, again, with all the stickers and everything, you can make it look super aggressive, which is cool.
Well, it does, and you know, it's instantly recognizable. I've been to so many car shows where you've been at, and your car is the focal point. And for Squad Driven and the brand, an R8, but I think it's more, this car just has something special to it. I'm super impressed by it. Highly recommend one. The value is definitely there. This is a great value proposition for anyone that's looking to buy a supercar and bordering on hypercar territory. It's super responsive. This R-tronic transmission is unbelievably just quick and dynamic, and it does snap your head back in a good way, so you're not, you know, kind of just along for the ride and just being a passenger. You're actually really driving the car. It's a real experience to drive the car, as opposed to maybe in a Lamborghini when it's not so much an experience. I think the experience in a Lamborghini is more being seen in the Lambo versus driving the car, and that could be wrong, but
no, I mean, that was part of the reason why I got this. So like, in the same price range. So I bought it about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, when the market was hot. And in that same price range, you could get an earlier 2000s Gallardo. You could buy an earlier 2000s F430, which again, I would have bought the F430. They're great cars. There was at the dealership where this one was, there was a black with yellow accents F430. My fear was the maintenance. The only main issues with this are the air conditioner, the AC compressor, and the suspension that go. Besides that, it's been more or less totally fine. But like, again, a Ferrari or Lamborghini, I feel like would, one, it'd be a little older in the same price range, and two, it's more of, hey, look, I drive a Lamborghini or Ferrari, than about the performance of the car. Right,
and it's also the Italian car tax versus the German car tax.
Right, like I can't imagine all the parts and labor on the Ferrari and Lamborghini that I don't want to think about.
Never mind oil changes and whatnot.
Right.
So, I mean, this car seems relatively rock solid, you know, knock on wood.
Right.
So, I gotta tell you, it's one of those really enjoyable cars to drive. Wow. And yes, people, I'm granny shifting, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to throttle the crap out of somebody's car. You all know that. I can't believe it goes to 9,000 RPMs. That's just nuts.
The first month of ownership, I don't think I took it above 5. Just because I was like, it feels like you should shift now. But it comes like, when there's no more cars, you really should get on it a little bit, because it's like a totally different car over 4K. It's just like, it's a different experience.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. It's just, sometimes it's a little sensory overload when, you know, you feel like you want to shift it at 4,000 or 5,000 RPM, and
I've never owned a car that goes to 9K, you know?
Nor have I.
Most of the time, like my Mustang, I think red line was like 7.
Yeah.
So you'd shift normally at 3 or 4.
And what other things have you found about the car that you really specifically love?
About this car?
Yeah.
I love how comfortable it is. Like, it is a supercar. It is fast. It does handle really well, but like, I have valves on the exhaust, and I can close the valves, and I can drive like a normal person, and I'm comfortable. I can go to the grocery store. I mean, the front's a little small, but like, I'm not uncomfortable, as opposed to a Lamborghini or Ferrari or something equivalent where, you know, it's not the most comfortable car to be sitting in for a bit.
Right.
So I would say that, and it's just a perfect balance. To your point, it punches way above its price range. On track days and all that stuff, I compete with guys with, you know, new Huracans or new whatever, 488s or whatever. Yeah. Depending on the driver skill level and all that stuff. Of course, if it's an amazing driver, I'm not going to keep up. But, you know, average driver in both.
Yeah. And you can listen to the downshifts. That just makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up a little bit too. And the brakes are just rock solid.
And the thing about this, which is like good and bad, it's very limited what you can do as far as mods. So like, I have all new coilovers, and I have an exhaust and intakes, and that's more or less it, unless you want to boost it. I would love to boost it. I don't have 40 grand to boost it, but but no, exhaust, intakes, and coilovers and a tune, which this has all of the above. So it's amazing. I mean, I have literally no complaints.
I have one complaint. I don't own one. And now you're making me think. I'm just going to do a hard pull. Holy goodness.
Is that foot on the floor?
No.
Come on.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I forgot what I said.
All right, folks, that is unbelievable. Highly recommend. If you do get an opportunity to rent one of these cars, I would strongly recommend it. This is absolutely stunning. It's super nice. It's quick, and it's fast. And it's hard to kind of get those things together. And the steering is so on point, it's not even funny.
It's nice and heavy, which I like. I mean, some people complain about it, but I like it heavy. You feel everything, you know?
Wow.
E-brake. Leave it in gear, and then you e-brake, and you can shut it off.
Stay tuned for an interview with Asa. And remember, if you like this type of content, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, it's about the drive.
Guys, we're here with Asa Gladstein of Squad Driven. He's been on the channel before. And Squad Driven is really kind of changing its gears. Sorry for the pun, but Asa, could you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Squad Driven's been around since 2017. We used to do marketing and events for car enthusiasts, so it would be car rallies, and we would do marketing as well for various companies, whether it was helping with social media, content creation, stuff like that. And as of 2023, or the end of 2022, but kind of now it's live in 2023, we split it up. So we used to do car rallies that were raising money for charity, so now we started our own charity so we can kind of raise more money for ourselves and we can spend less and donate more to kind of the causes that are important to us. So that's called Stay Driven Charitable Foundation. So now Squad Driven is essentially just a marketing company which is kind of based around car enthusiasts and cars in general. So we do some marketing for automotive storage facilities and for rental companies and stuff like that, kind of in the car world. And we'll do stuff for marketing company or for companies that are not in the car world, but that's just kind of where our focus is.
Nice. And tell me, I've heard you've got this amazing rally planned coming up for June, is it?
Yes. For the last 5 years, we've been hosting a rally called the East Coast Run. It's just because we were East Coast based, so we would start in the Boston or the Northeast Boston area, Rhode Island, whatever, and we would go kind of in any direction off the East Coast. But again, with the whole change, the charity thing, and moving forward, we're getting bigger and more traction. We combined our two different rallies and we made one large East Coast run. So we're actually going at the end of June from Maine all the way down to Miami. So that'll be really cool with about 50 cars.
That's awesome. And what's the cost to get into the rally?
So it's 10 grand for the whole rally, and that's about 9 days long. So if you break it down, it's actually a very good deal. We have 2 track days. We have an airstrip as well. We do nighttime events. Most meals are included. All the hotels are included. Secure parking. We have a full media team, livery kits. I can keep going, but it's a really good time. But we offered, since it's such a long time, it's like 9 or 10 days total, and not everyone can commit to that kind of time frame and dollar amount. We are actually splitting it in half. So the first half is 5 grand, and it's from Sugarloaf in Maine, which is the airstrip that we're starting at, down to Charlottesville, Virginia. And then we're in Charlottesville for 2 days, and then the second half is Charlottesville down to Miami.
Wow. All right, that's really awesome. So guys, if you're going to sign up for that, how would I do it?
So if you want to sign up, go to stay-driven.org/ECR23. You can see all the information on the past East Coast runs, this current East Coast run, pricing, etc. And there's a form on there you can fill out, and it'll come directly to me, and I can kind of respond and go back and forth with you and answer any questions and then get you signed up.
Awesome. All right, thank you very much.
Of course.
So that was a small pull. You know, the car handles amazingly well, even though, you know, cold roads, cold tires, but, you know,
It's got winter tires, which like when they're warm it's fine, but when they're cold it's still like, it's not good.
So looking at the engine on the R8, this is the V10, right? Check this out, guys. Look at all this beautiful carbon.
I forget where it is. I'm trying
It
to see.
says Audi right here, right, guys? But this is the same exact motor as the Lamborghini.
I don't remember where this
Slightly detuned.